I'm here with the fourth part of the self-care series that I have been doing over the last few weeks. Today's episode is about relationship self-care. Now, I don't really put this fully under the self-care umbrella. I believe that this area steps into self-love parameters, so it's not just a self-care episode, it's also a sort of self-love episode. Although what I'm going to be doing today is talking about the relationship self-care area, and in its very minutest sense. I'm only going to be talking about a small part of it and what the areas are. So what I'll do in the future when I do the self-love series is I will bring these areas up in a bigger way, and we'll talk more about them and I'll look more at them so you can understand the things that you need to do to really bring that self-love in for you and to access better ways of being in relationship. So we'll start with what relationship self-care is. So, how are you loving and caring for yourself within relationships? Do you have clear boundaries? So, are you able to say no when you really want to say no with regard to relationship expectations? Or are you finding that when it comes to certain relationships that you're kind of giving too much of yourself? And you see, this is why I put it into self-care and love, because when we care and love ourselves, right, we find it really easy to move into those areas where it's easier to say the yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. Unfortunately, when we're in the areas of self-care and love, when we're sort of shaky ground and we're struggling with them, we tend to struggle with saying yes and no in the correct ways. So sometimes we say yes when we mean no, we say no when we mean yes, and that can cause quite a lot of stress and tension to our bodies, right? So our body system goes, oh, come on, I kind of really don't want to go and do that, but you've said yes, and then your people pleaser tendencies come out, and then you feel that you need to do whatever you said. So in the relation or in the relationship area, this is with regard to the boundaries between you and other people, and how you're caring for yourself within relationship. What are you giving of yourself, right? So then, we kind of look on to, are you able to keep your individual aspects when you're in relationships? Are you able to keep yourself? Now, that sounds kind of tricky, I know, right? So what it is are you able to be your full, authentic self? Or do you find that you're changing parts of your personality in a relationship in order to feel loved and safe? Now, here's where it really steps into love. Now, it's care to keep part of yourself all functioning tickety-boo. When you're moving into deep love aspects, what it is to realize when you're changing as a result of the relationship that you're in. Now, I have seen it time and time again, and I was also a culprit of it, right? I've seen it time and time again where people change themselves quite fundamentally in order to exist within a relationship that they're in. So this message today on this aspect would be to say, if that is happening for you, right, if you do find that you're losing parts of yourself to a relationship, that you need to kind of curtail it and bring yourself back to form, back to you. Now, the ways you can find out if you're not being your full self in a relationship are by looking at how you were before you were in a relationship. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, yes, we do pick up stuff from our partners or, people that we live with even. We do pick up stuff from them, right? However, if this is starting to change the dynamic of your life and it's more difficult because of it, then it's to look at yourself. Are you dressing differently as a result of the person you're with? Do you do things a certain way when you would really like to do them another way because you're with a certain person? Now, look, we're not talking about compromise here. We're not talking about general compromise and loving aspects, when we're doing good things for our other halves. We're talking about things that fundamentally are necessary for you to be your individual self, right? So take a look at some of those things and find out if any of those areas are out of cohesion so that you can bring them back into balance. So dress the way you want to, do the things you want to, not feel that you're not allowed to do things. I have a friend who I lost many, many years ago when she went into a relationship. Now, I don't know for a fact, but maybe the relationship meant she wasn't allowed to have deep, strong friendships anymore. Maybe the relationship meant that for her, or maybe it didn't. but it's to check in whether that's why we're doing something. We're doing it from our heart because we want to, or we're doing it because the relationship that we're in expects it of us, and to look at that. So the next one that we've got is, who are you spending your time with? Haha, it's a big one, right? Are you spending your time with people that lift you up? Are you spending your time with people that drag you down? Now, I did a video for my Facebook page with regard to kind of toxic relationships, and I'm going to add it to the end of this video for you, if it fits, okay? If it doesn't fit, I won't put it there, but and I'll edit this out anyway, so you won't know. But yeah, if it fits, I'm going to put it at the end of the video so that you've got that as well, because it is part of this and it kind of taps into this relationship self-care aspect. So yeah, spend time with people who bring you up as opposed to those who bring you down. But as I say, there's a lot more information in that other video, so I will put that on and you can have a little listen to that. It's an audio, and I will stick it on the end. So the other thing is, are you able to end relationships that are basically are no good for you? Are you able to end them, or do you find that you still keep making space and time for people that are not actually lifting you up? Are you actually finding that you struggle with ending relationships where it's difficult? Good self-care, good self-love aspects really tap into being able to be honest with yourself about your connections. If they don't feel good, then they're maybe not for you anymore, okay? And you might really love a person but still feel that the connection isn't working out. It doesn't mean they have to go forever, but maybe it just means for a small time you need to step away, okay? Just step away from that relationship so that you can, build up stronger relationships that fulfill you in life, as opposed to relationships that kind of drain you. Yeah. So also, if a relationship is a struggle for you and you maybe think, oh, I want to run away from this relationship, but you don't think that, deep inside you, you know that you value and you love and you respect this relationship. Now, are you able to find really good ways, secure ways, to discuss with the person that you really need a change to be made? Okay, now this is a big one, because this one steps into how you value yourself within a relationship. Okay, and that is deep love for self. When we care about ourselves, we don't allow other people to step on us. All right, and this moves into kind of almost validation and things like that, but I'll talk more about that in the self-love series. We'll look at that when we get to that, so we can look at what's going on with you so that we can help you to move out of these areas. But these are just the pinpoints to get you into a space where you start thinking about these things and maybe changing a few things to bring yourself into a stronger aspect, so that when you get into the self-love areas, you're really functioning and firing on all cylinders. Because as I said before, and I think I said it in the first video, this is your foundation. Create it, lay it, make it real, so that you can step into the self-love areas and start to move your life forward in bigger and better ways, right? So the last one I would say is, are you able to create relationships that are loving? With your friends, with your family, with your other half? Are you able to create relationships that really nurture you and support you? Now, in a personal relationship, in a loving relationship with somebody you are in an intimate relationship with, are you able to really be strong in that relationship and be everything that you want it to be, because you have a loving aspect there, right? Are you able to say what you want to say? Is there any fear there? Is there any problems there? You look into that and checking where your relationship is taking you. Do you find that you make allowances in a partnership and you don't want to make those allowances anymore? Do you feel that you're anxious in your relationship with this intimate person that you love and you care for? A loving, caring relationship should be somewhere where you feel completely secure and safe. And that is really important. It's really important that you feel secure and safe in that relationship. Yeah. So, and this isn't just about relationship with intimate partners. This is also about relationship with friends, with family, with colleagues. Are you able to have friendships that are friendships that really buoy you and keep you afloat and keep you strong, right? Because if your friendships are knocking you down, then that isn't good self-care or self-love. That's neither of those things, okay? Because what that then is it's like you are diminishing aspects of yourself in order to carry out the relationship, to have the relationship, okay? Now, often I get asked about soulmates and loving connections like that. Now, if you have any type of issues within those kind of connections, then there should definitely be deep loving aspect within them. Deep, caring, conscious relationship that heals and nurtures and supports you and both of you and has a committed, developed centre to it. So yeah, so that is our relationship self-care video for today, and I really hope it's helped. Do take notice of it. Do recognise if there's anything that you need to get sorted so that you can get this foundation in place ready for the self-love areas. Anyway, my lovelies, thank you very much for watching. Namaste, and I will be back soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Bye.
I was going to talk about the Pandora box effect this week. However, I read something that Anthony Hopkins wrote this morning, and it really made me think about where we put our energy and who we give our energy to as well. I was thinking about the fact that so often throughout our lives, we tend to give our energy to people who probably don't deserve it and probably don't even want to be with us. I think it's about honing into who is for us and who isn't, and recognising those energy drains in your life and removing them. I know, in all honesty, it's easier said than done. I know that removing people from our lives that we've known maybe for many years, who we really want to have a beautiful, amazing, harmonious relationship with, yet still, as we spend time with them, we find anxiety creeps in, or we feel as if they're not there for us, or we feel as if they forget us, or we feel as if we're doing all the running. And yet we still want to see them because we like them. And I get that. I do get that. However, as I was reading Mr. Hopkins' words, something really shone through in what he was saying. And it's that, we're here to live amazingly beautiful lives. We're here to be the best versions of ourselves as opposed to part of ourselves. We're here to find that brilliance and really tap into it. And all of you guys know that I teach self-love. You know that my major focus is always about you, and it's for you. It's always about you recognising your deepest brilliance so that you can come from that core. Now, if you're hanging around with people who are draining your energy, who are making you anxious, or you're in situations that aren't good for you, the deep self-loving practice is always to move out of those things, move out of them so you can step into greater versions of yourself, higher versions of yourself, and be more expressive as well. Because once you're hanging around with the people who really, really lift you up, then what else is there? Life becomes this amazing, beautiful experience. And in this experience, you can climb mountains. You can create from a space of deep gratitude because your whole life starts to shine in a really different way. So when we spend time with people who lift us up, then we too are lifted up. So this isn't to say that everybody that we hang around with needs to go. Yet it is to say that if there are people in your life, or situations, or jobs, or even places where you're living, where the energy doesn't match up with who you are, or even who you're becoming, feel free to start thinking of changing your direction, removing things that don't fit anymore. Start small. Start with the rubbish and clutter in your home. Get rid of that. Then declutter your phone of numbers and people that you never call and don't need to be there. Do it on Facebook as well. Unfriend those people, or, unfollow those people who do not need to be in your existence anymore. And start to just slowly withdraw your attention from people who aren't lifting you up. We need to have strong, beautiful relationships with harmonious and safe people that lift us up and are contributing to us in beautiful, strong ways. Now, one time a friend of mine said something to me, and I remember it very well, and it really rings true in this situation. If a friend of yours feels more like somebody that you're having a therapy session with, in the sense of you're being the therapist, is that an equally balanced, loving relationship? If you really start to notice this within your life with anybody, it's time for you to really take stock and to say, look, I want a loving, beautiful relationship with people. I want to have, people that are really for me, people who are like me, and raise my spirit up, change my direction through their beauty and their support. It's about support and finding that. And you can do this. We can all do this. Now, of course, like anything, and in all the self-loving arenas and self-care, we start small and we build up. So, find that one person that really drains you and start spending less time with them. And then, find that one activity maybe that you've been doing with somebody or even with yourself that you feel you need to do. Have you even got that? That's actually quite a common one too. It's where we start something and we don't want to stop, even though we don't like it anymore. We feel almost an obligation to keep completing things. Please know that if there's something in your life that's boring and you don't like it, and you really don't want to do it, then stop doing it. Remove it from your life and put something in your life that's far more rewarding and fantastic for you. Anyway, that was meant to be a really quick little audio for you because like I said, I read Anthony Hopkins' post and I thought it was really beautiful. And I wanted to sort of speak to this idea that we really need to remove toxicity from our lives. And I'm sending you all so much love. Namaste and do take care. Lots of love. I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Kisses. Bye.